Hello and welcome back to Mr. Powers Teaches. What am I teaching in? Algebra 2. Hey, so we are getting into our section 5.2, and that is finding zeros and roots of polynomials. Okay, and just we have this main idea, so let's start with this. And I'm just going to review today the, what am I reviewing? The zero product property. That's it. So we'll start off this section by defining just what a root or zero of a polynomial is. We say that x equals r, so r is a root, or a zero of a polynomial, same thing. P of x, if p of r equals 0. In other words, if we evaluate a polynomial when x equals r and we get 0, that's a root. That's a 0. In other words, x equals r is a root or 0 of a polynomial if it is a solution to the equation p of x equals 0. Okay, so we have that. So anyway, what is the what is the zero product property? What is the zero product property? All right, the zero product property is this. I'm going to write it down. Then we're going to use it. All right. I would like you really quickly to give me two numbers, two of them, that multiply to equal 0. All right. Give you a second. Okay. Now those two numbers were probably something like, 1 times 0 equals 0. Or maybe you had 8 times 0 equals 0. Or maybe you had -3 times 0 equals 0. Or you had 0 times 0 equals 0. But no matter what, you did have 0 as a factor, in one of these expressions, because that's the only way to get 0. So what is the zero product property? It says this: if you have, I can do this. There we go. If you have two numbers, let's say a and b. Okay, those are two numbers, and you multiply them. So a times b equals 0. Okay, if you know two numbers multiplied equals 0, well then a equals 0. One of those numbers must be 0. Then a equals 0 or b equals 0. There's our zero product property. If a times b equals 0, then a equals 0 or b equals 0. Okay, so that's just a quick little review on that. And so let's practice that really quick with these problems here. Okay, and I'm going to use this term. I'm not really going to define it right now, but we'll use it, I guess. So really quick here. If I want to find the zeros of this, I want to make that equal to 0, right? So I have x squared plus 2x minus 15 equals 0. And what do we do when we're solving this? This is a quadratic. We know how to do these. We would factor. So we factor this, and we would get, let's see here. I think we get let me see, one of these would be minus, one would be plus. I think it would be x minus 3 times x plus 5 equals 0. And if, again, if we have that a times b equals 0, then either a is 0 or b is 0. And that's how we solve these. In case you forgot, that's really what's going on. So what we do then is we say, hey, what if x minus 3 equals 0? What does that mean? Well, that means x would have to be 3. So there's one solution to our quadratic equation. And similarly here, we could say that x plus 5 equals 0. If that's true, well then x would have to be -5 if we solved for that. And so we get another solution, because if we plug in 3 or plug in -5, doesn't matter. Let's go with 3. If I plug 3 in here, I get 3 minus 3 is 0, and 0 times anything is 0. So there's our quick idea there. And also, we get to use these terms. 3 is a root or a 0. -5 is a root or a 0. Okay? And they only occur once, multiplicity once. But we're not sure what that is yet. We'll get there. One more quick example would be x squared minus 14x plus 49. If we set that equal to 0, okay, let's knock this off here, then we would say, well, let me see here. X squared minus 14x. Oh, that's easy. That's x minus 7 times x minus 7 equals 0. So what's our solution? Our solution is x equals 7 for this factor and x equals 7 for this factor. X is always 7 on both of these. But it kind of come up twice, right? It's like a solution, but it's a solution doubly. We could say it's a double root. So I'm going to simplify this here. X minus 7 squared equals 0. So x equals 7. And here we would say 7 is a root. 7 is a 0 of our expression here. We would also say it has a multiplicity of 2 because it was a root twice here, as you can see. Okay? So there's our quick little review on the zero product property, and a quick review on that's how we always solve these kind of equations, these quadratic equations. And we're going over this because we're going to extend this to solving cubics, or actually finding zeros or roots of cubics, or equations, or polynomials with higher powers. So, polynomials that have an x to the 5th in it, or x to the 7th, right? We're going to be finding zeros and roots of those guys now. So that's all I wanted to tell you in this video. Until next time, enjoy doing math.